decided it was time for a break from Keith from me. So, Dave, we have you popping in. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Callie, great to be here, and weather's turned into a really nice day in Maryland. It's been a little humid lately, but today humidity's down, a nice breeze blowing through the paddock here at Laurel Park. If you have a chance to come on out and watch the races live, perfect day to do it. This Friday to kick off our 3-day weekend.
Oh, it's going to be a gorgeous day, weekend of racing, gorgeous cards as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track on what we've got going on outside, exactly what those races are going to be running on. The track is fast, and the turf is nice and firm, Dave.
Not much rain here lately. Fast, firm. The turf course, a little bit of a speed tilt to it as of late, so we'll see how it plays today. East at 7 miles an hour for the winds, though. Through the paddock, it feels a little bit more than that. Maybe
it does.
Kicking up to 15, but I like that breeze.
It's always a bit of a wind tunnel here on set, but that's just fine. There's a nice breeze going through the paddock as well. When these horses are tacking up, they get a nice little nice breeze through the paddock. But let's carry on, Dave. Let's go ahead to that first race. Let's talk about that claiming 30,000 for the girls 3 and up, which have never won 2, going 5.5 on this lovely Laurel lawn that we have. Scratching the 6, Honorable Chill. Dave, you have the number 8 on top. This is Divina Dulce. This is in the barn of Arnaud Delacour, and Jamie Rodriguez takes the call.
Callie, this race is typical of a lot of the races here today. 3, 4, 5 horses all win a length or 2 of each other, at least according to my figures, and trips may make the difference indeed. But yeah, I went to Divina Dulce. It is the second time off a little bit of a layoff for trainer Arnaud Delacour, who's 22% with this kind of move, second off a 45 to 100 day layoff, 22% in the winner's circle, and almost a positive return on investment, $1.95. And this filly hung in really, really well last time out. You look at the running line, the raw running line, and your past performances, second by a head at the 8th pole, but then finished 7th. It really doesn't tell the whole tale. She was there till the very, very final yards when they kind of passed her. Tired, needed that race. Her numbers fit in here at Divina Dulce. We're going to show some video now of number 5, Nuwanda, off of a route race, returning to a sprint for trainer Calixto Juarez, our first video spotlight of the day. There you see highlighted there in the red silks and the green silks. A little bit of trouble there down the backstretch. Inside, eased out, steadied at the 8th pole, but really this is a mile. She's coming back to a sprint, her best distance. If she can run back to that race 3 back here at Laurel in late April behind Caroline Christina, she'll be closing late in the game in this spot. Pretty live in here in Nuwanda. There you see the trouble, and then in the green cap kind of closing well, but really not this far for her. She's a better sprinter. 5.5 on the turf, gets her game today for Nuwanda, number 5. Number 3 in here is Molly Tapper. Another horse is kind of interesting. Ran second behind Little Josie Wales. We'll talk about in just a moment. But look back in October last year. How good was New Rome at the time?
Right. No, that was the horse to kind of go after at that time. So with Molly Tapper just kind of really able to be competitive against that one really says a lot there. And then you mentioned the number 2 to kind of wrap things up in Lady Ensign for Mike Trombetta, Victor Carrasco. Hard to deny a Trombetta on the turf right now.
Yeah, she's not going to be any price, and she's had a tendency to hang and kind of wait on horses. I know her last race in early June was first in several months, beaten favorite that day. She ran right up to horses, hung a little bit, tried to shift in through the stretch run. Not the kind of sign I like to see in a horse who's going to be to 2-1 on the board against horses who will be a much better price, who have run equal numbers to her.
There you go. Dave Rodman gives you some value there with his picks as he goes 8-3-5-2. I jump on the bandwagon. And number 2, Lady Ensign. And there we go. Dave, let's talk about your early pick 4 that does start here in this first race in race number 2.
Yeah, some of the races in the sequence scratched down. For instance, the third race is down to a 4-horse field, so we're going to make a very economical ticket, only $12. 2 by 2 by 2 by 3, using the 4 and 7 in the first leg, 2 and 3 in the second leg, 1 and 6 in the 4th race, 3rd leg, and a more spreadable race, the 5th race, where you might get a little bit of a price to blow it up a bit, and the 4, 9, and 10. We got Party On Girl, who's the morning line favorite here for trainer Brittany Russell. But Gastown Babe has some credentials on the grass, and Prove My Love in there. We'll show you the video of that runner a little bit later on. But I think the second race kind of narrowing down to Upswell and Little Josie Wales. Upswell, kind of a closer. Little Josie Wales I think, is going to be a little closer to the pace today. First off the claim for trainer Jerry Robb. First off the claim for Robb for 7, Little Josie Wales. Always a good angle. We know it's a positive ROI, right? $3.14 the last couple of years. First off the claim, 20%. Turf to dirt's a good move. At first she looks like a turf horse, right? What's she doing on the dirt? Not only claim, but jumps up to the $30,000 level. I think they like what they've got, and she can run on the dirt as well. She was beaten only a length and change behind the very fast at the time, Poggi Bonsi. If you want to look at Poggi Bonsi's old form, look today. She was the MTO main track only runner, scratched later in the card. You can see what I'm talking about. In a very good race where she was on the lead in good fractions back 7 furlongs in September behind Bella Bettina and Northern Glow, who closed to run 1-2 in that race. Little Josie Wales set the solid pace in that race and weakened up late. So on the turf, kind of looks like a closer. On the dirt, maybe she'll have her old life and kick closer to the pace today. Now here's Upswell, a horse I think she's got to beat here. This is a race 2 back at Pimlico. Here's the closing kick, going 5 furlongs, a race taken off the turf. Rallied from well out of it, way on the outside. You could see her running at the 3/16, showing some interest in the back of the pack, way out in the center of the track, and won it going away too in good style with her ears kind of flipping around there at the end. Then they went to Charlestown. Always got to be quick in your feet at Charlestown, going 4.5. The opening fractions there were 21 and 4. Finally got interested very late, but by that time the wire's there, and that was the end of that. A little better distance today for her, Upswell, who seems to be holding form for trainer Anthony Ferrier off the $20,000 claim.
7-4-8-2 for Dave Rodman, finishing things up with I Can Do It and Sweet Shugs underneath in that first leg of the early pick 4. We're back on the turf for race number 3 in that second leg, and an allowance optional 55, going 5.5 on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratches in the 4, 5, and 7 leave a 4-horse field here on the turf. Going short, Dave, you have the number 2, Biz Biz Buzz here for Mike Trombetta. Michael Sanchez here, returning back from that effort on the synthetic at Woodbine.
A key scratch in here of Talented Man. And that kind of makes me hedge a little bit on Biz Biz Buzz, but I'm still going to pick him on top in the short field because Determined Kingdom now looks like the solo speed in the race, right?
Right.
Phil Schoenthal's Determined Kingdom coming off a time away, hasn't run since September. You see his form. He's really the only kind of horse who wants to go and go up front. He can win off a time away from the races. Phil Schoenthal's stats prove that, and he comes off a bullet work at Fairhill, 1 minute and 2 breezing from the starting gate from a standstill start there. His numbers are good, almost as good as anybody in the race. There's 4 horses in here, and they're all within, a length or 2 of each other on their best day. He ran 3rd behind Big Invasion back at Saratoga a long time ago in 2022 in the Mahoney, back when Big Invasion was the deal, sprinting on the turf at the time. So he's fresh and he's ready, and he's probably going to the front. But I went to number 2, Biz Biz Buzz, Callie. The Trombetta barn had Matta in here, scratch Matta, elects to keep Biz Biz Buzz in the race off an 8th place finish on the synthetic. A little prep to the comeback there. Back to the turf today. That race 2 back at Gulfstream, extremely tough. 2 winners out of that race, Callie. Cupola and Yes, I Am Free. Those are really monster type horses. I think he won't be on the lead, but he has enough tactical speed to stay close.
What are your takes then on the number 3 Outlaw Kid for George Weaver, Fergal Lunch? Let's go ahead and take a look at that effort. And the King T. Leatherberry last time out here for that 2024 opener.
Yeah, now a little rider error there. I mean, I've called horses at the wrong wire here at Laurel too. Rider stood up prematurely at the 16th pole, going to that second wire finish here, and that probably, arguably, I'm sorry. This is the horse where he waited.
Yes.
He waited here and had to find racing. I'm thinking of another horse going 5.5 today. My error. But there's been a winner at that race, and a good winner. The King T. Leatherberry had to wait at the 8th pole there. Outlaw Kid was the trouble. Comes to finish second behind the solid Maryland sprinter Whitty. A winner out of that race. How about Future Is Now, right? The filly that's won her next 2 starts, the very one in the Grade 2 Intercontinental, making this guy look like
Yeah.
he belongs in this spot, right? Speaking of class, I was talking about Coppola, and yes, I am free. That was a very tough King Leatherberry there, April at Laurel Park. George Weaver wins in Maryland with those New York Shippers. I think they have a tendency to get a little bit overplayed, though. People go crazy over the New York Shippers trained by Weaver. It's not a positive return on investment. In fact, the ROI is, is something you might want to steer away from there at a short price. So Outlaw Kid, the video spotlight there in race 3 in the 4-horse field. I guess we talked about every horse, but win from within, from
And do you
Lacey
have
Dudet
anything
down
on
to the
that
inside.
horse, on that particular one for us?
Win from within.
Yes.
Hasn't raced, had switching barns today, hasn't raced since May at Churchill Downs, the Bill Morey barn. This horse had some good form, different spots all over the country, and best race came back at Churchill Downs, but that was going long behind Ocean Atlantique. So there we go, 2, 3, and 6.
2, 3, and 6 there in race number 3. Race number 4 is back on the dirt in a starter optional 20,000. Also starts the Rainbow Pick 6. Let's take a look at my ticket really quick. I give a stab on 2 singles here in race number 8 and race number 4. I go with Naked and Famous here for your first single because I think race number 9 is just too intriguing with that maiden going long on the turf. And then race number 5 I think is a very interesting race going short on the turf in that allowance optional 40. So a couple of options there. My best bet of the day is going to be actually in race number 7 on the 13th, Brady Bear. And my price play is going to be race number 6 on the number 6. We'll get to that in a second. A $24 ticket, but let's start off that first leg. Let's dive in, put a microscope to that effort in that starter optional 20,000 a mile. Back here on the dirt, going for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the 3, Brother Brad. Scratching the 7, North Highland. You have the number 6 on top. Fun 11, Criminal. I love this top selection here for Kerry Bryant. Xavier Perez is the change-up rider.
And this horse is so keen off the claim into the Kerry Bryan horse back in May at Pimlico. I wrote a little note down to myself, should win again. He came back, and I thought maybe he took back a little bit too far back last time out in a bit of an overconfident ride. And today they're putting the X-Man on him today, a little bit of a change. All he has to do is kind of hold the form of his last 2 races from the Bryan barn, who reclaimed this horse, right? Had wins with this guy back in October, November last year. November of last year actually reeled off back-to-back, and then came back in December to win another one there. Actually was DQ'd out of one of those, but 2 wins in the Bryan barn late in the fall last year, headed towards winter. Reclaimed, sharp off the reclaim, and last time out it was taken back, made a bit of a middle move, and then kind of flattened out late. I think he'll be a little closer, more aggressive to the pace today. Won't be on the lead, I don't think, because your horse, Naked and Famous, will probably go to the front, I would assume, and Mo's Perfect down to the inside. First off, the claim for Kieran McGee might be a little sharpened up first off the claim.
Agreed. You can always kind of guarantee those horses off of McGee to kind of be a little bit zippy first in that first start on this one, is especially taking that inside speed approach possibly. That lines up really, really well for what you could probably see with Most Perfect. Include the number 4, Cotton Collected. Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez, a morning line price of 8 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, they've claimed this guy. They haven't gotten a win out of him yet. He was a beaten favorite last time out at Parks, and you look at his form, you look at his running lines, he's probably going to be a little farther back in the field.
Right.
Don't know if the pace will be sufficient enough, but, you're not using Ness and Rodriguez, or at least looking at them in your consideration. You got to really take a double take here. But I don't know if the pace is going to be sufficient for him in this spot. Naked and Famous probably going to the lead, as we mentioned. He chased a horse named Guaponess last time out, who was very, very sharp and kind of drifted off the inside. Guaponess got through, got through on the rail and went on to win, but he kept on trying. So Naked and Famous with his sharp rate going to the front. Mo's Perfect to lay right off them, and I don't think Fun Lovin' Criminal's going to let him get away with too much today in the 4th.
6134 for Dave Rodman there in race number 4. Race number 5, we're back on the turf going 5.5 for the girls here for the 3 and up. In an allowance optional 40, I go wide on this race. All these MTOs come out like the 1A Beneath the Stars. White Knuckle Flyer is a re-entry. The number 6, Give Me Kisses, the 8, Pokey Boncy, and the 11, Talk to the Judge. That leaves both of us with the number 10 still on top. Prove My Love for Cal Lynch, Georgie Ruiz. Let's take a look back at that effort last in early June of this year. here.
Yeah, okay. So this is the race I was talking about earlier. Am I correcting my error? Where the rider kind of misjudged the line, and even calling the race, it's tough sometimes. I got to remember. Oh, that's right. They're going to the second wire here. Just a brief stand up there, but the filly that beat her here, Caroline Christina, is really a substantial, classy type filly. Was fifth by 2 last year in the Stormy Blues to a horse named Basarati. I'm talking about the filly that beat Prove My Love there in the Red Silks, and Caroline Christina. She's run against some really good horses here. Prove My Love. She beat Mainline, who's come back to win a couple of races since from the Brittany Russell barn with an 83 and a 73 buyer figure on the grass. So this Justify filly coming second off the layoff for Cal Lynch today. Going to prove her mettle here, trying to show that, yeah, I chased a good filly last time out, Caroline Christina. I can get the job done today. So I'm going to make her the top pick in there. Number 4, Party on Girl, is the first time from the Brittany Russell barn. A horse that's been going a mile and 16th a mile at Gulfstream Park on the turf. But Chad Brown went back and looked at her videos. She's kind of a one-pace type, beaten favorite last time out. Will she be ready to sprint 5.5? First time in the Brittany Russell barn, sharpening up here off the route races at Gulfstream. The filly that beat her last time out, Royal Dame, is a 6-time winner. She was under a rating hole while 2 wide, just waiting, and then didn't really have any kick when asked. But in a new barn today, raced 2 back. She was third beaten a length and change to a 5-time winner, Rowtown. 3 races back at Gulfstream in January. She was 6th at almost 5-1 behind Delahaye, who's now a grade 3 winner on the turf. All right? So credentials are there. Class-wise, will she be sharp enough to sprint that 5.5? You got to be pretty quick here at Laurel Park. The way this course has been playing here lately, I'm interested to see how far back she gets, or if they try to keep her aggressive and out there early. First off, the trainer change.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll have things to add to that in the afternoon, but it doesn't help that the turf is very remarkably quick right now. Brittany Russell 35% when shortening them up. The number 9, Gastown Babe, Justin Nixon, Fergal Lynch. This filly didn't get into the races a lot just due to troubles with entries, but first time off of the layoff was a pretty good start to the 2024 season.
Sheldon Russell had a couple of calls in here. Who's he going to ride for? He's going to ride for Brittany,
yes,
right? So Fergal Lynch goes to Gastown Babe in here. Veteran rider Fergal Lynch for Justin Nixon. A good race last time out. Rated nice and handy off the speed. Asked for some run in upper stretch. Didn't really kick. Kind of finished evenly. But that was her first race of the year. That was several months ago. So we'll see. She's kind of been lightly raced, but she has ability. She tries. She's a 2-time winner on this course as well. So on her best day, yeah, she fits in this spot.
And David Rodman ends up going at 10-4, 9-2 there in race number 5. And we'll be right back after this commercial for the rest of Friday's card. We're back with this jackpot super high 5 here in race at number 6. Also starts the late pick 4 as well in this allowance optional 62.5. Going on the dirt for the 3-year-olds here, 3/4 of a mile at that. No scratches here. Dave, you have the number 3 Uncle Cat here for Rudy Sanchez Salomon. Thais Laia Pustina gets the call with this one. First time in this barn.
Yeah, might be a little bit of a reach, but
I love it.
I guess we need to kind of start the conversation really with a video spotlight horse in Kings River.
Okay.
I mean, how consistent is he's on his way to a 6-figure 2024 already, and it's only June, right? This guy is so consistent. 8 starts this year, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. The thing is, he's kind of a closer, a little bit pace dependent, but he always gives his best. That's him there on the orange silks on the outside, highlighted earlier, 3 deep in the turn. And when he has a good pace in front of him here, they're not really dueling. too hard up front. There you see the perched winner out there ridden along, kind of falters, and here comes Kings River. He has a tendency to kind of go to his left lead if I'm not correct, right? I've seen him run so many times. There he goes again. But it doesn't really matter. He keeps on trying down the stretch, and he's just a really, really nice horse. I guess he's the horse to beat in here. The field stays intact, no scratches in the race. I assume that Irish Hero is going to be the speed of the speed, right? He's a Mr. One-Way right to the front, but he's been having trouble following through in that final 16th of a mile, a little less than an eighth of a mile to go. You got to start worrying getting where Uncle Cat, though, I'm going to try him in here. He's had some speed in the past. It's his first time out for Rudy Solomon. Layoff stat, not good in the 2-year layoff, but on the way back stat, Rudy Solomon used to be an expert at this kind of layoff. He had a positive ROI if you expand those stats to $2.37. I know it may be a little bit of a reach, but he did show some speed at Parks last time out. The Bucarino, 2 races back. It was a pro speed day, January 7th here at Laurel Park on the muddy strip. Speediness went all the way, and he chased that speed all the way. I think he'll be fired up today on the chase of Irish Hero and maybe hopefully fit enough to score and improve just a tad. I think he'll be more tactically placed than Kings River, but will he still be there when it counts in the last furlong? I'm taking a shot because he's 6-1 on the line here. Uncle Cat, 3-2, 6-1. I know Map, who gets back on Lasix today. How about the last 2 races, the private terms and the Penn Mile on the turf, his comeback race after a few weeks away where he was 82-1, just a super long shot in that race. So he comes back to Laurel. He's won over this surface before, and his two of his 3 wins have come with Lasix. So he's back on Lasix today. He's beaten Prado Road in here from the Brittany Russell barn before. I think a tough race. So I went for a little bit of price.
There we go. Race number 7. We are back on the turf in the Claiming 20,000 going a mile here, which have never won 3 for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the 11, Sharp Shot. You have the number 9 on Top Class. Wizard for Ted Maher. Georgie Ruiz gets the call here today.
Yeah, I mean, that race, the first time out for Ted Maher for the Trombetta barn back in June, that was an excellent race. He was 7-1. He was in the 2-path outside the winner bailout the entire race. He loomed up there like he was going to win it in mid-stretch, and this kind of flattened out late. Needed it was my comment, my personal comment. Well, he needed it. He's back today. He's in at the right level, and if he runs his best race, he's going to give a good accounting for himself. Or he is aboard today for Ted Maher. He's as good as anything in the race. Class Wizard, the number 9. Number 8, Summer Anthem, same MO. Second back after the layoff, beaten only a couple of lengths at Delaware Park on the good surface there. Comes back here to Laurel today. He's the kind of horse who's going to get a good pace set up in front of him. Looking at the race, you got Jumpin' Jagger Flash, Bossman JJ coming off of sprints on the grass as well. I think they'll liven up the pace. Bossman JJ, Jumpin' Jagger Flash. It'll be sufficient for a horse like a Summer Anthem or a Class Wizard to roll right into at the quarter pole. And so I went 9, 8, 2 closers there. With a 4, maybe it's Time is kind of an interesting horse off Time from Michael Gorham. He's got a great turf record, 2 wins from 9 starts, $34,000. And his number at Delaware back October of last year, beating only a neck there, showing speed in that race, was good enough to compete in this spot. But again, he's going to have some other speed to contend with in today, just to his outside, and Bossman JJ, and for sure, I'm pretty sure Jumpin' Jagger Flash, who added the blinkers out and scored last time out at 33-1, Keith's top pick that day. I think he's still counting the money from that win ticket on Jumpin' Jagger Flash.
9, 8, 4, 13 there for race at number 7 and Dave Rodman. Race number 8 is our feature in our allowance optional 50,000. Back on the turf, going 3/4 of a mile of the distance for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the 4 class here, scratching the 6 Spun and 1. You have the number 1 Golden Candy on top. Horacio De Paz, Kevin Gomez gets the call.
Should I? Oh, why
Should
not?
you?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to get 8-1, but then again, Point Doom is going to be a short price in here. It's your top pick, Callie. Let's get it out of the way. Let's watch him at Pimlico, May 17th, right? This was a big effort, but it was also a big speed speed and more speed day at Pimlico, especially speed out of the inside. Now, he did set the pace off the rail there, you see, down the backstretch. So he wasn't right on the rail, but it was a speed near the inside day. Right there, he's close enough to the inside for me to say that that track may have helped him out a little bit. But he's very quick, and he's probably the speed of the speed in here, and he's a likely winner, right? If he can repeat this race. He was second behind Speediness. He reeled off a couple straight back December and February. And there's Kieran McGee off the claim, always sharp. So he's the horse to beat. I'll try Golden Candy, though. Here's a horse that's coming off the claim and into the Paz barn. Was 3 wide on the turn last time out, May 17th, behind Point Doom in that same race, against the bias that day. Can track. He's capable of tracking and capable of angling. He's done that before. Just track down to the inside, angle out, and try to run down some speed. And way back in November of last year, he beat a little horse called Rominsky, right? What's he done? He's won 7 of his last 8 races since then back in November. So an interesting matchup in here. If Horatio de Paz can get the 7-year-old back in winning fashion, he's an 11-time winner. 11-time winner. All right.
And there we have it, 153 for Dave Rodman there in race number 8. Race number 9, our finale here on Friday, is on the turf. No scratches here in this maiden special weight, going 1 mile and 16th for the girls, 3 to 5. You have the number 9 on top. This is one court commander, Brittany and Sheldon Russell. You have a nice little stat on this particular pairing here today.
Yeah, well, Brittany has 2 in here first. The first-time starter, on-court commentator. And then the 4, Akela, another Chad Brown to Brittany Russell barn. They both worked June 16th over this course at Laurel. I'm assuming they worked together. We can't tell much about that work. I didn't see it, but they were together in 103 4/5 around the dogs that day, meaning the cones on the turf course outside, so you can't put too much stock in how fast the time was, right?
You got to go
right
by
about that?
the ranking, yes.
The ranking, right. So Brittany Russell for the Elkstone Group, this owner, first-time starters over the past 3 years, a whopping 39% and a $2.87 ROI. They win together, and they win with first-time starters. And here's a filly by Uncle Mo, 15% turf route winners out of a Madame Curlin's Fox by Curlin, who was a turf winner at Del Mar and Santa Anita back in her best day. So she bred top and bottom there to like the grass, good connections, owner-trainer combination, knockout stats together.
Let's also talk about the number 2 for Arrogate for Jonathan Thomas. Jamie Rodriguez gets the call of force. This is an Arrogate trying on the turf, but has some good barn stats trainer side to back this one up.
How about her dam, Forever Together, right? Could be the best bred horse we have this week at Laurel Park Run. Forever Arrogate out of Forever Together. 4 wins. 4 Grade 1 wins on the turf, including the Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf back in 2006, and earned her a $2.9 million. Has been working in Kentucky on the synthetic and a Keeneland on the dirt. Comes here to Laurel to try to grass for the first time out of that great grass mare Forever Together. Really good race here in the finale. I can't fault you for going one of many, many, many ways. Kayla's the other Brittany Russell. I looked at her video last time out. Not much size to her. She's kind of a little bitty filly, but adding the blinkers may be the wake-up call today for the Kingman filly. I assume she worked together with on-court commentator, the other first-time starter. And there's another horse I wanted to mention here a little bit, Candy Doll, out of a dam by Monshaft, who's the second dam was all turf, adding the blinkers, and definitely needed it in that Pimlico start behind Popover Gal. This filly seemed really, really lost out there, kind of not concentrating at all. I thought it was an interesting spot, though, to try her on the grass. I thought maybe, I'll put the blinkers on her, trying the dirt sprinting, but here she is on the grass against the salty field today. Candy Doll. Good race, the finale to close the card.
Great race here, 9-2-4-3 for Dave Rodman here in the finale. Now, Dave, let's go and kind of dive into your specialty plays today. Let's talk about your best bet in the opener and race for that early pick 4 in race number 2. On the number 7 at 6-1, Little Josie Wales for Jerry Robb and Jamie Rodriguez.
At first glance, looks like a turf horse off the claim. John Robb, great stats with Jerry Robb and turf to dirt as well. If you look on the back form, there's a nice sneaky race on the dirt there, showing early speed, a good effort too, I think. Off the claim and on the jump here, they like what they got.
And your value play of the day is a little bit later. Race number 7 on the number 9 class Wizard for Ted Maher. Georgie Ruiz gets the call here at a nice healthy 5-1.
Yeah, I guess I'm doomed if I don't play Point Doom. No
Right.
pun intended, right? But it's a short field, and Golden Candy's an 11-time winner. Can he get his old back class or his old mojo back? Maybe trying to run down Point Doom. It's going to be a little tougher today with a scratch of Class here, spun in 1, shortening up the field there. Point Doom should go right to the front, but did win on a tremendous speed day at Pimlico back on May the 17th. So I think the price will be right here to take a little shot. Maybe that's the exact, those two Golden Candy Point Doom.
There we go. There we go. Dave, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to get offset so you can maybe give us some more changes
I rambled,
and
didn't
scratches.
I? 22 minutes to post.
That's okay. We'll be right back for some more changes and scratches from this guy here in about 20 seconds.